Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man today. Hi friends, welcome to another movie review. Today's movie that we will be reviewing is Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, out of respect for the fact that the film is still relatively new to theaters time of recording, I will be keeping this video as spoiler-free as possible so as to not take away from anyone's eventual enjoyment of the film if they have not seen it. I will likely be making a more spoiler-filled review somewhere down the line once more people have had the opportunity to see the film. But for now, we're just going to keep it to things that have either been revealed in the trailers, revealed through cast interviews, stuff that's fairly common knowledge, etc. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the film. Spider-Man Brand New Day was released July 31st, 2026. It was directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who you may know from his previous MCU outings with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings and the recent Wonder Man series. So following 2021's No Way Home, this film explores the fallout from Doctor Strange's spell that wiped Peter Parker's existence from everyone's minds. So 4 years after the events of No Way Home, Peter is operating as a true loner. As a result of that, he is experiencing the burnout and the emotional turmoil that comes from the stress of being a solitary superhero. So despite being a lone wolf at this moment in time, he does have some support in the form of NYPD detective Gene DeWolf, as well as Frank Castle, aka the Punisher. Peter's life is also further complicated by a new mutation that enhances his spider abilities that he must then learn to control before they control him. So I personally thought this was a really great film. I had a good time watching it. I wanted to make sure that I saw it as soon as possible because I knew that spoilers would probably be flying around the internet very quickly, and I wanted to make sure that I did not trip over those as I went through the film. So the film itself didn't do a whole lot to explain exactly how Doctor Strange's spell adjusted the events and people's memories of Peter Parker after his public outing as Spider-Man. But honestly, I don't think it really needed to, given the fact that the movie itself did a really good job of establishing the status quo regardless. It established that nobody knew who Spider-Man was, even those he worked closely with. And it just felt like something that wasn't necessarily necessary. The film delivers a beautiful blend of stunning visuals, emotional gut punches, and incredible action, which all combine to keep you truly invested throughout the film. This movie had some of my favorite Spider-Man swinging scenes in film, which you'll probably see. I won't describe them because, again, don't want to take away from your enjoyment. I did get this little button when I went to see it at AMC, but that's just a plus. That has nothing to do with how much I like the film, etc. But I thought it was just cool. The action in this film is absolutely top-notch. So I had read that the action in the film is actually inspired by Insomniac's Spider-Man games, which consist of Spider-Man, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2, all for the PS5. Now, I've played these games. Well, I've played the first Spider-Man. I'm actually currently working through Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2 is in the queue for after I finish Miles Morales. But honestly, anyone that has played these video games or is familiar with the combat, is familiar with anything either from watching videos of it, etc., you will recognize the action as being heavily inspired by those games right away, just from the way that Peter moves, the way he takes down enemies, the way that it's shot, etc. So, I mean, some of these look literally like cutscenes from those video games. The action was also very impressive. From what I understand, they actually brought on Jackie Chan's stunt team to help direct the action scenes. Now, Jackie Chan and his stunt team previously worked with Destin Daniel Cretton on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and it shows. Jackie Chan actually even visited the London set to help with some of the action direction. And that shows. Some of the highlights of the action in this film include Spider-Man taking on the Hand and the Department of Damage Control officers. The Department of Damage Control plays a very, very huge role in this film. Some might even say they're the primary antagonists in a certain way, but I won't get too much into that. So let's talk about the cast. I believe that the cast is absolutely on point in this film. Tom Holland probably delivers his best Spider-Man performance of any of his 4 Spider-Man films. He seamlessly blends the charming, quippy Spider-Man with the emotional intensity of a Peter Parker that's struggling with his past choices and his new mutation, especially as he finds a way to reconcile his evolving DNA with his desire to still remain himself as he moves through the film. And I believe that's done very, very well. And Tom Holland's performance shows that throughout. I mean, you really feel a sense of Peter's struggle as he fights to remain himself while also dealing with all of the things that Peter Parker deals with traditionally. Zendaya, Tom Holland's wife in real life, is also great here. She delivers MJ's trademark quirky nature from the previous films and the emotional depth that is needed in the scenes that she shares with Spider-Man. So I would say that Peter and MJ are probably the emotional heart of this film. They are the ones that tie that emotional thread together. And as I mentioned earlier, your boy was feeling the emotions a little bit in some scenes. May have brought me to tears just a little bit, but it was a blast watching them together and watching them act opposite each other in yet another outing. Again, this is probably their most emotional outing together, just given the events of the previous film and how those have affected their new relationship in this film. Jacob Batalon's Ned Leeds rounds out the trio of Peter, MJ, and Ned. He has a relatively small role in the film, but it's still important in terms of, you know, being someone who used to be Peter's best friend, who now has no idea who he is and tracks Spider-Man remotely. His scenes are just a lot of fun. Every scene that he's in, he's not given a whole lot of the emotional gravitas of the film, but he's very light and charming all throughout. So the 3 of them together, it's like watching 3 best friends. So I loved that part of the film. A very welcome addition to the cast this time around was John Bernthal's Punisher. Now, if you've seen any previous Marvel media, you may recognize his Punisher from the Daredevil Netflix series, as well as Disney Plus's Daredevil Born Again, or his Punisher series on Netflix, or the Punisher One Last Kill special that was released earlier this year, time of recording. None of these feel like required watching before you see the Punisher in this film. I certainly haven't watched any of them. And I don't feel like I missed out on anything in terms of his character development or anything necessary, any references to those, etc., except maybe little things that might have, I don't know, maybe provided some background to his character. But as I mentioned, these are not required viewing. You will get plenty from the Punisher in this film. I loved Spider-Man and the Punisher's bromance as it was displayed in this film. I mean, Peter and Frank really had this buddy cop and like big bro, little bro energy that I would absolutely love to see more of. Like, I would watch a film of just these 2 guys running around New York, solving crimes, all of that. I mean, I just had a blast watching them. any scene that John Bernthal is in, he kind of steals it. I mean, honestly, he might have been my favorite character in this film outside of Spider-Man himself. So just seeing their dynamics and how he plays off of Zendaya's MJ as well, it just creates a really great, fresh, new dynamic that will be welcome. And I hope he's in any future Spider-Man films, even in just a small part. Yeah, just building on that relationship. So I had a lot of fun with that. Sadie Sink is also in the film. She has a very significant role that you will not get from any of the trailers. And so I'm not going to spoil that at all. If I had to say one thing, I feel like personally, her performance was probably comparatively the weakest out of the cast in this one. Just my opinion. Um, and I feel like that's about all I can say without getting into some pretty heavy spoilers. So we'll just leave it at that. Form your own decisions about Sadie Sink's character when you see the film. Another character who's a relatively significant but kind of minor character is Liza Colonzas's Detective Jean DeWolf. She has a notable presence in the film, even though she is not in the film that much. She serves as Spider-Man's liaison to the NYPD. So all of her scenes feel very much like she's almost taking on that Aunt May role in a sense, where she's not in the film that much, but her scenes do feel relatively important to Spider-Man's character in terms of him just being someone that he bounces things off of. He can talk to fairly regularly. They have a very good working relationship. And again, she's a character that I hope sticks around for future Spider-Man films. Fingers crossed that there are future Spider-Man films. But I would love to see more of her dynamic with Spider-Man. Other characters that round out the cast, Tremel Tillman's character as the Department of Damage Control's director, as well as Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner, who shows up in this film as both Bruce Banner and the Hulk. They have very key roles in the film. Again, I won't spoil too much of that, but I did enjoy their performances. Yes. In addition to that, there are other surprise characters, cameos, roles that you just have to see the film to hear about. So overall, I would say I would highly recommend this film. It is not my favorite film that I have seen this year, but it will, for right now, it is definitely my second favorite film that I have seen this year. Of the films that I've seen at time of recording, I have seen Project Hail Mary, I've seen Supergirl, there will be a review coming for that eventually. I've seen The Odyssey, and now Spider-Man Brand New Day. And speaking of The Odyssey and Spider-Man Brand New Day, Tom Holland and Zendaya, and John Bernthal, he's in The Odyssey too. The three of them are having quite a huge summer between The Odyssey and Spider-Man Brand New Day, with both films breaking lots of records. Spider-Man broke Avengers Endgame's opening day box office record, which is a huge testament to how good this film is, how hyped it is, and how much good word of mouth it's getting. And I will contribute to that positive word of mouth. Um, Brand New Day, I believe, benefited a lot from taking the time to make sure that they got the story right. My understanding is that Tom Holland was actually in the writer's room. He's one of the ones that pushed to have the script be very, very good, make sure he's giving the fans exactly what they wanted. I remember seeing in interviews that he was on message boards, he was listening to podcasts, he was doing all of that, where he heard what fans liked and didn't like about previous Spider-Man films. And I think that shows when you have your lead actor that invested in making a good movie for fans and for people to enjoy. I think that matters a lot. And it definitely shows in this film that they put a lot of thought, a lot of creativity, and a lot of heart into this. So props to you. Tom Holland. And props to everyone that created this film, from the director, from the visual artist, from the stunt team, from the rest of the cast and crew. They put together a very, very good film. And again, highly recommend it. 8 out of 10 rating. That's my rating for Spider-Man Brand New Day. So in conclusion, go see this film. If you're not a Spider-Man fan, if you haven't seen the other films, maybe see the previous films first in the Spider-Man series. They'll make a little more sense. But even if you haven't, I think you will still enjoy the film if you're a fan of emotion, a fan of action, a fan of just quality storytelling. Even if you're not a comic book movie fan, I think people will still get a fair amount of enjoyment out of this one. So yes, once again, 8 out of 10 rating. Probably my second favorite Spider-Man film ever. Definitely my favorite of Tom Holland's Spider-Man films. So yes, go see the film. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to y'all soon. So that was my video review of Spider-Man Brand New Day. I really enjoyed making this video for you. I was making it fresh off of seeing Spider-Man Brand New Day. I wanted to make sure that all of my thoughts were fresh in my head. I wrote a proper script for this one because I had certain points that I wanted to make sure that I touched on in regards to the film. And yes, I just overall really enjoyed making this video for you all. I am trying my best to make regular videos as best I can. I would like to put out at least 1 or 2 videos each week. I do work a full-time job. I do keep pretty busy outside of this, but I also enjoy making these videos, and I enjoy connecting with fans and all of you on YouTube or wherever you might be watching this in the future. So yes, I will be releasing some more videos. I like the whole movie reviews. I already have my next one planned. The next video I'm going to review will be Supergirl. So up to this point, I've done The Odyssey and Brand New Day. Supergirl, I might not have as many glowing things to say about that one. So I will plan that. It will be out sometime either this week or next weekend. And I will look forward to sharing that with you, as well as other videos on other topics on this channel. So thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching. And I will look forward to chatting with you all soon. Have a great day, week, weekend, month, year, whenever you're watching this. Enjoy, and I'll see you soon.